welcome to Questions with Sir. One of my students asked me, Sir, what animals are scientists trying to bring back to life? Well, the list is very long, but I'm gonna mention just a few here. First animals that come to our minds are dinosaurs. But the problem with dinosaurs is that they died just about 60 million years ago, and their DNA is not preserved in the fossilized remains. More recent animal that died away is saber-toothed tiger, which died out about 10,000 years ago, and their remains are preserved, and there are some parts of their DNA, but they are too badly damaged. The animal that scientists also try to get from that era is Glyphodont, which is a huge mammal covered in armor and had a huge spiky ball at the end of their tail. But also the problem with DNA persists. The most recent animal that died out on this list is Baji, which was a dolphin that lived in Yangtze River in China. The animal that scientists are currently working on to bring back to life are woolly mammoths. Their remains are preserved in permafrost, which are huge blocks of ice in Siberia. They're extracting genes from these remains and trying to combine them with genes of current elephants, African elephants. And they're trying to create the animal which will look and behave like the old woolly mammoth, but they'll be actually mixed between elephants and mammoths. So, elephants or mammothants? Yeah, something like that. Next animal that they are trying to bring back to life is dodo, which was a huge flightless bird that was the native of Mauritius and which was brought to extinction by humans. Because it was living in isolation, dodo was quite tame and was approaching humans, who actually saw in it a big hen and hunted it till extinction. With dodo, scientists are using a bit of a different process, which is combining cells from dodos and mixing them with their current living closest relative, which is a woolly pigeon, and trying to get embryos that way. Also, the animal which scientists are trying to bring back to life by a slightly different method is called quagga, which is a front of a zebra and the back of the horse, or something like that. And they have another project in the same line, which is to bring back urox, which was the ancestor of today's cow. They are using the same method, which is called backbreathing. So they are taking zebras, and which have these similar characteristics as quagga, and breeding them with each other and trying to go back and get back the quagga which zebras came from. Also, the same method is used with the cows, which have the same characteristics as urox, and trying to breed them back into the animal that once was urox. The animal that scientists had the biggest success with is Pyrenean ibex, which is kind of a mountain goat, which they managed to make an embryo and successfully develop the embryo in a mountain goat. The little kid was born but died only after 7 days, which sadly makes this breed the only breed that managed to be extinct twice. Well, there are also two species which are still living but considered extinct. Why? Well, the northern white rhino has only 2 living specimens in the world, and both of them are female and they are quite old. So scientists are hoping to get the DNA from the living specimens and actually make a clone of that animal and reintroduce it to breed later. Also, there is an ivory-billed woodpecker, but unfortunately it seems that in 2020 all the sightings of this species stopped. There is one success story, which is a European bison. Just a few decades ago, the only remaining specimens were in the European zoos, and scientists actually took all these animals and reintroduced them to wilderness in Poland, and they started breeding again, and now they have a couple of thousands of specimens roaming in Poland. And from this year, some specimens will be reintroduced in the woods in United Kingdom. These animals are actually very important for the environment because they were going around felling the old trees, eating the bushes which multiplied very rapidly, and were fertilizing the ground with their dung. So other animals which lived in this environment managed to come back and start living again in their natural habitats. Speaking about natural habitats, all these animals that we're talking about, especially the ones that lived very, very long time ago, if we brought them back to life, we're not sure that they'll be managed to survive, because the environment that they used to live in has changed so much. They would probably die out because of the lack of food and shelter. That's it for today. Keep the questions coming, and see you on the next question. Bye!